Hey, peacemakers, it's your girl Dawn Stone, also known as the Conflict Chick. I am here on my special channel. I consider this one behind the scenes to let you know the ins and outs of life as a divorced mother of three amazing, beautiful children and the struggles of entrepreneurship and parenting on the fly because every single day is different, right? I am here in my office today. Friday, I planned on being in my office and doing a live, but didn't get a chance to because life was lifing. So, maybe you don't know me. I'm a speaker, consultant, and coach who helps individuals and organizations build confident and competent leaders by having meaningful conversations and leveraging conflict resolution. So, literally, I didn't choose conflict, conflict chose me. And when I say that, I really mean it because living my life today is not something that I thought I would do. Like I had everything written out at 16. I knew exactly what's going to happen. 2.1 kids. That means I was pregnant at the time, I thought all starting at 35. None of that came to fruition. In fact, my last child was born at 44. So, on this particular channel, I am taking you on a journey. You get to see and hear about my oldest child, who, as a parent of her, I'm still adulting. We spent almost 2 hours on the phone last night when it was my bedtime. So, now I'm sleepy today, but I was able to spend time with her, right? And then I get up this morning with my autistic son who too is neurodivergent, just like me, just like his two sisters, just like his dad, just like my daughter's dads, and we just all make it work. And so this channel is really about inspiration. Hopefully, you find something funny. Hopefully, you find something that allows you to live in the moment and understand, who we gotta laugh. So I did a workout this morning, and I'm tired already. But again, it's the 5 hours. Anywho, so let's jump right into today's little message. So I want to kind of walk you through how I prepare my child for today, right? My autistic 6-year-old son is literally one, two, three generations away from his mother. I'm a Gen Xer. And so when we think about the things that I grew up with, my parents were boomers, my grandparents were veterans. And so I got a strong work ethic. I didn't ask questions. I put my head down. I did the work. Well, raising someone who was a part of the alpha generation, he's like, no, why are we doing that? What is that about? And I'm not doing it. And so, how do you navigate this as a parent, right? So, he goes to school, he's extremely bright, but he doesn't like to write down things he already knows because he's like, it's mental math. Why would I write that down? And that's how he looks at people. And so, you have a child here who is putting adults on his level because everyone around him is an adult, because his sisters are adults, his parents are adults, he's always around adults. And so, he's thinking he's on that level. So, how do we as parents navigate something that simple but difficult? Because again, I'm in my 50s. I have my AARP card, which means I get my senior discounts, but I got a kid that's in first grade. Make that make sense. And so, this show is really going to take us all through the chronicles and life according to the X-Man, aka Xavier. We'll also dig into the college freshman. She's beginning to learn and love herself. Got to spend time with her on yesterday. It was fun. And then my oldest daughter just walking through life as an adult, figuring out what her next chapter is going to be. And just how, as a parent, being able to manage all that is something that is not necessarily easy and nothing that is in a playbook. Because I'll tell you, if there was a playbook on raising a divergent child, a quirky child, a shy child, an outgoing child, a child that has strong will, the quirkiness of all of us would say, hey, I would read that book. That book would be memorized, right? But I don't have that book. I don't even have I don't even have a testament. I don't even have a sentence because each and every one of us is so different and the things we want are uniquely different. So I'm going to say the thing that we must do in this moment, if you are a parent of a quirky, different, indifferent, unamused, um, less assertive child, it's on us to figure out how to get them to their next step. Okay, so I'm going to just start today with a couple of tips and kind of Xavier's story from last week. So he got sent home early because He was not, and I'm going to show you, he was not cool with these. He literally did not want to put on headphones when he was doing his math problems because he said, look, it's not going to be that loud. And so, in the mind of an autistic 6-year-old, he's like, why are y'all sweating this? It's not that big of a deal. The adults who are millennials and Gen Xers are looking at him like, get a clue. I told you to do something and you're not doing it. And so, there's the conflict in it. And so, me as a parent who wants her child to uh, agree to agree, not agree to disagree, because his agree to disagree got him sent home. So what could have been done different on that day? Nothing. The only other thing I could have done is embarrass him profusely and force him to do something and embarrass myself and possibly get arrested because he was going to buck up against me too. He had this whole nuck if you buck, nuck if you buck, nuck, nuck. And I was like, son, it's not that serious, right? And so while I'm sitting there on the floor with him doing yoga, he gets up and is like, okay, mom, I'm done with this. I'm ready to go back to the classroom now. And gets up and walks out. So when we have these moments, these what I call clarifying moments that affords us the opportunity to live and learn in the truth, here's the lesson. 6 hours in school for my son was too long. He's like, you know what? I'm good here. I'm good there. I want to do my work, but I don't do my work my way. And so how do we find a compromise as a parent, as a teacher, as a guardian, as a support? That's the $1 million question, right? If I had that answer, I would already be a multimillionaire and have millions of followers. But I didn't have it. So let me tell you what I did decide to do. I decided to come and take all of his extracurricular fun stuff for the weekend away. And he was forced to sit in community with me and his great grandmother. Now, ironically, he loved it because taking away devices, taking away all distractions, taking away the outside noise for him, he loves autistic spectrum disorder. Is very different. Every child is different. Every adult is different. He loves noise. He loves community. So he's driven by that. So I limited his access to outside noise, which is also why on Sunday he was like, okay, I'm in church about 20 minutes. I'm ready to get out of here. Everybody singing, sitting down, praying, up, stand up, down, up, down. He was like, no, I got to go. So removing all the extra noise out of your child's environment is one thing I would recommend. He had to spend literally 72 hours with me and get bonded with me. And I was able to talk one-on-one with him about his behavior, right? Now, the old Dawn, the Dawn of the 22-year-old, would have been so embarrassed. How are you embarrassing me? I can't believe you do that to your mother. Xavier was just like, the headphones weren't that loud. And they weren't going to hear it, I promise you. Right? So in his head, he's like, I don't care what you say. I know what I know. And then I had to say as a parent, here's some boundaries and here's your consequence. So don't be afraid, parents, to issue that consequence. If there are no consequences, we raise a bunch of coddled, entitled children who grow up to take care of us. And guess what's going to happen if you have that scenario? Potentially, they could say, I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to take mom's money, dad's money, and we're going to just let them go. So you want to make sure you invest in your child in a very intentional way and allow them the time and the energy to stretch their wings, but also give them some boundaries, right? Because we want to hold boundaries and not grudges, because grudges prevent you from building that long, loving relationship that you need. So I'm grateful to the teachers. Shout out to the teachers, Greystone, because you all are giving him another chance this week. And we trust and believe that he's going to have an amazing week like he started last week. Point number two, to be a responsive parent that doesn't give in or give out, it's going to require you to do this thing. Number 2 for you is do your homework. Do your homework as well. Your children are doing homework. Even as adults are doing homework, you've got to do yours. So get to know your kids. Spend time with them, one-on-one time. Spend time if they have a diagnosis, learn about the diagnoses, read. Do. And the last point I'm going to say is test yourself. Find out what your biases are, where your prejudices are, your values that are not aligned with your own children and their other team of teachers and just decide to put those biases that negatively impact you and your children on the sidelines. For instance, groupthink is one that's really cute, especially in education. Groupthink is really, hey, this one person has a lot of knowledge and authority. We're going to believe them and we're going to do and say exactly what they do and say. For a child, that removes his or her power. And so when we're removing people's power, we have to understand what that does to them socially, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and sometimes financially. So the thing that we can do to kind of offset that is to ask questions. Ask questions of your children, even the little one. I'll say, Xavier, what made you like want to walk down the hall and move everybody out of your way, right? And so what I did is I let him know that you cannot push past adults to get to the classroom because it's their classroom, not yours, right? Well, he told me I just didn't want to wear the earphones, and I was ready to go when I was ready to go. And so then we go, hey, I'm going to reinforce something. It's called a rule, and it's a boundary. You don't walk past the parents or the adults that are in the hallway. See, I was there with you, right? I was a parent that was there. So make sure you're respecting me just like I want you to respect them, because then in turn they will respect you. That's how he got it. Okay. And so in dealing with my older two daughters, I'm like, hey, how's school? How are things going? How's work? How are your relationships? How are you networking? How are you moving? And as they tell me, I'm taking inventory instead of giving advice. Because with the older ones, you want to listen more and talk less, right? You've already given them a foundation and trust that that foundation is going to work. And so all you want to do is ask clarifying questions just so you can get more information and then thank them for it. And if you ever have an opportunity where you really want to insert something, ask them for permission. Here's how I handle my 18 and my 22-year-old. I was like, hey, can I offer you a suggestion? And you know what they'll say? No, mom, that's okay. And you got to say, all right, cool. Let me know if you change your mind. I tell you guys, conflict is something that can be so beautiful because it really unlocks your joy, your creativity, and your innovation. Because had I not had these conversations with my 6 year old, my 18-year old, and my 22-year-old, I wouldn't know anything. They would think I don't know anything, and I would also think I don't care, right? Thus, increasing stress and everything for all of us. So we want to make sure as we're walking through life and walking through these experiences with our children that we are doing the three things. Number one, we are paying attention, we are advocating, we are learning. We are also asking questions and providing guidance and boundaries, not just demands. And then thirdly, we are improving ourselves by educating ourselves. Know before you go. Know before you go. All right. So I'm in the process. In fact, I'm going to get off here, go and call my therapist, and I'm going to seek the tests, all the tests. All right. Because my children are dealing with neurodivergence, and I need to know all of mine as well. Okay. I speak in third person. I love talking to myself a lot, and I get trapped around a whole bunch of projects. So I'm sure ADHD is going to come up officially. And guess what? I've known it since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. And my parents did too. But you know what they gave me? A dictionary, a ball of yarn, a bunch of fabric, and a sewing machine and said go. So that's how they handled it in the 70s. But now we've got more tools and resources. So don't be ashamed of what's different about your child or yourself. Embrace it, leverage it, allow it to work for you. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you, I started my business because I'm so neurodivergent. I was tired of people harassing me because I could do their work and mine too and still be sitting around going, what else we going to do? That's the way my brain works. And until I started telling people, they say, Dawn, I wish I had your brain. I say, no, ma'am, no, sir, you don't want those problems. And they go, why would you say that? I said, my brain never shuts off. Huh. My brain is what contributed to my stroke in 2021 because of the stress I allowed to consume me. So you don't want that brain. They go, oh, you're right, Dawn. I don't want any of that. Well, anyway, I hope I've shared something today that you can use in your life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow because the conflict chick is here helping you solve conflict one conversation at a time, whether it's at work, home, school, or within yourself. So you have an amazing day. It's been great. See you soon. And you know what I say? Peace.